say the least, we were hard-pressed. And Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress. Mama washed and combed and curled my hair, then she painted my eyes and lips. Then I stepped into a satin dancing dress, had to split on the side, clean up to my hip. It was red velvet trim and it had fit me good. Standing back from the looking glass, there stood a woman where a half-broke kid had stood. She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." Mama dabbed a little bit of perfume on my neck, then she kissed my cheek. Then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak. She looked at a pitiful shack and then she looked at me and took a ragged breath. She said, "Your pa's runned off and I'm real sick and the baby's gonna starve to death." She handed me a heart-shaped locket that said, "To thine old self be true." And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high-heel shoe. It sounded like somebody else was talking, asking, "Mama, what do I do?" She said, "Just be nice to the gentleman, fancy. They'll be nice to you. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. But don't let me down now, your mama's gonna move you uptown." Well, that was the last time I saw my mama when I left that rickety shack. The welfare people came and took the baby, mama died, and I ain't been back. Well, the wheels of fate had started to turn, and for me there was no way out. It wasn't very long till I knew exactly what my mom had been talking about. I knew what I had to do, and I made myself this solemn vow that I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how. But I couldn't see spending the rest of my life with my head hung down in shame. You know, it might have been more just plain white trash. The fancy was my name. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Wasn't long after a benevolent man took me in off the streets. 1 week later, I was pouring his tea in a 5-room hotel suite. I charmed a king, a congressman, and an occasional aristocrat. And then I got me a Georgia mansion and an elegant New York townhouse flat, and I ain't gonna lie. Now in this world there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that call me bad and criticize mama for turning me out no matter how little we had. But though I ain't had to worry about nothing in nigh on 15 years, I can still hear the desperation in my poor mama's voice ringing in my ears. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down, hon, your mama's gonna move you uptown. And I guess she did. Got a little fancy, got a little hot.